Awesome. Well, we're super excited about the opportunity to coach the team in the Texas Bowl against Kansas State. For me personally, it's a milestone moment to represent LSU and the state of Louisiana in such a remarkable contest. We're excited to return to Houston. During the hurricane, obviously we were displaced, and the city of Houston, and particularly the Houston Texans, showed us a ton of hospitality. And so we're certainly honored to go back and play in such a prestigious venue. We're really excited to go and play in front of our fans. Obviously, there's a large alumni base in the city of Houston, and so we're certainly excited to go get in front of those fans for sure. This is really a proud moment for our team. We played some good football down the stretch. And I tell you what, being invited to this bowl game, really it lends to the toughness that's in our team, the kids that are in that locker room, the leadership that those guys exemplify. So we're really excited to go out there and have an opportunity to compete and really to finish this season, send our seniors out on a winning note. So with that being said, I'm happy to answer any questions as it pertains to our team in the bowl game. Ooh, let's see, probably a 12-hour trip, 12-hour bus ride. That kind of stuck out, obviously. It was really a tumultuous time for our team and everyone really in South Louisiana, and for us, we had to prepare for a football game. And so what it showed me was really, how the state of Louisiana and really this university, how we all came together to do what was best, for our team and their families for that matter. And so, when we arrived in Houston, there was a ton of hospitality. We felt really welcomed. We tried to, in some form and fashion, give our kids some normalcy in terms of our game preparation. And so, we obviously had a chance to continue our prep and go out to L.A. Obviously, the game didn't turn out how we wanted it to, but we were allowed, in my mind, to go out there and make do despite the circumstances.
I guess just talk about what the next couple of weeks look like in terms of when you guys can get on the practice field, just kind of what what game plan is in terms of preparing for this.
Sure, you bet. So we wrapped the season up, and then currently right now our players are doing academics, right? They have finals next week, and so that's a big deal for our guys. We wanted to give our guys a little bit of a break. They've had a long season. There's been a ton of adversity, and so really just giving our kids a chance to catch their breath. And so this next week will be finals. There'll be a discretionary week in terms of them utilizing the weight room and things like that. We'll ramp up here on Saturday. This upcoming Saturday, we'll start practice. We'll start our preparation for Kansas State. The big piece for us right now is utilizing this time to develop our younger players. We want to focus on fundamentals. We want to really focus on continued growth and really take this time to get our team no distractions. The game is going to be what's the main thing. You know what I mean? Nothing else at this point really should take away from our kids' preparation. They know what's happening going forward, all those things. Right now it's finishing this season. It's sending our seniors out the right way, and that's what we're going to focus on.
Hey, Brad, Michael Cowell from Channel 2. It's been a whirlwind for you.
Yeah.
First year, and you're leading the team in the bowl. So I guess if you can kind of take us through that process, what do you feel about yourself that's prepared you for this moment, and how excited are you to be the guy that gets the chance?
Well, you know what? I've been preparing for this my whole life. I'm from North Baton Rouge. I grew up on Winburn Avenue. People who are from this city, you're taught from a young age about toughness. You're taught about making do, making something out of nothing, and so I'm so proud to represent the people that I grew up with that have been and have had a huge part in my upbringing to get to this point. From a career standpoint, I've traveled all over the country, and I've tried to do my best everywhere I've gone, and yet somehow it led me back here to home, and I'm awfully proud. I did the coolest thing today, which is I went to church with my mom. I hadn't done that, and I tell you what, you guys talk about coaches and these salaries and all the stuff that people think really matters. Today I was able to go home. After church, my mom, she cooked a pot of white beans. My dad was going to barbecue. And then I got a phone call that I had a press conference and told them, I'm going to be on the news. And so they went crazy. Baton Rouge is a nice sized city, but we have a really small town, community. Everything's tight knit and real close. And so it's been a bit of a whirlwind. I'm awfully proud to coach at LSU. It's been a lifelong dream for me, and I've enjoyed every day that I've had a chance to wear this shirt. My plan going forward is is every day I'm allowed to. I'm going to give my best for LSU. I'm going to do everything I can in this role to advance LSU and really springboard our team for success going forward.
Fox 44, you talked about getting this opportunity, but you also will be the first black man to lead LSU as a head coach. Whether it's one game or not, how does that feel for you?
It's an honor. I mean, it speaks to, in my opinion, the university itself. Being from South Louisiana, I mean, you can talk about, historically how things have been here, but yet I think it shows the progress that that the state of Louisiana and the university itself has made. You think about President Tate, you think about me in this role. It speaks to LSU being extremely progressive, and that's something that I'm awfully proud of. I hope to, in this role, represent LSU in a great light, but also represent all young African-American coaches out there who are looking for this very opportunity. It is a big deal. I want to go out there and coach this team to success. I want to win this game. And more importantly, I think when I look back, I want to be proud of what I did in this role to not only help the young men in our program, but help aspiring coaches, kids in North Baton Rouge who ride the transfer bus and may not see a way out. I was one of those kids, and I'm here right now. And I tell you what, with utilizing the resources around you and having a praying mama, you can be up here too. It's easy. You know what I mean? So I got those things, luckily.
What about the preparation? It's real early in it, obviously, but have you talked to anybody, that may not want to play in the bowl game? Are you managing the roster right now? Is that something that you're trying to figure out before you start practice?
Yeah, certainly. So obviously we've been beat up this year, right? We've been snake bit a little bit, and so with the date, the January 4th bowl date, that'll give us a chance to get some guys back, which we're happy about. In terms of players opting out, in this climate, it's something that's not uncommon. But at the moment, we haven't had that cross our desk yet. So, if we do have players who choose to opt out, we'll respect their wishes, obviously. But we'll address that as it comes time to. Right now, the kids, they got the news this afternoon. They were super excited about the bowl game. We're going to go out there and play to win.
How are you going to handle this? Do you want to coach the line still and kind of oversee everything at night, or how do you want to go?
Well, the first thing I'll do is I'm going to defer to Coach Kelly, obviously, in terms of, the organization and what he sees as the vision going forward. As it pertains to administering the practices and things like that, Joe Henry has been an analyst on the staff, worked with me at the offensive line spot, and so I plan to elevate his role and allow him to go out there and lead the offensive line in practice, just so I can utilize the time to prepare for more of the head coaching role and making more important decisions on game day. With Coach Joseph obviously departing, DJ Mangus, who has also been in the receivers room as well, will have a elevated role as well, and he'll lead the entire unit along with Carter Sheridan, who is also an analyst.
Have you ever had head coaching experience?
Well, no, not in this role. I have not. Now, I like to think that the offensive line spot, I lead probably the largest group of kids on the team. So, every year as an offensive line guy, I have anywhere between 18 and 22 players. And so, managing those guys, academically, being responsible for the culture, practice preparation, drill work, and then ultimately, having them go out and play, it's something that in my mind I've been preparing for a long time. So, this is, I'm 0-0 as a head coach at the moment. You know what I mean? Hope to be 1-0.
Coach Shea Dixon with 24/7. Have you gotten a chance to talk with Coach Kelly, and if so, just some early impressions that you could share?
Yeah, you bet. So he and I have had a chance to meet. My impression of him, I hold him in high regard. He's a winner. I think Scott went out and looked for a coach that could come here and bring that here, just that winning mindset and sustained winning, and that's something that he's done. So I have a great impression of him as a head football coach. I have high expectations, and I think he's going to do phenomenal here.
As interim, what role does, or kind of in your mind, where is signing day being in 10 days? Where does that kind of fit into? Obviously, there's a lot in motion, but
Sure.
just signing the guys you got committed at least.
Recruiting is a priority. It always has been and always will be at LSU, and so that part has not changed. And so we're focusing on signing a really good class. We've got some guys targeted that I think will be immediate impact players for LSU, and so that hasn't wavered in any of the transition.
You're still doing the power hour kind of stuff?
No, not at the moment. No, not at the moment. We've some things will change naturally in the transition, but I tell you what, going forward, the plan that we have to sign the kids we want, I think we're going to be very proud of the guys we bring into the program.
The individual coaches are staying on their guys.
That's correct. Yes, sir. Yep, that's right. Yes, sir.
Just to clarify, we're talking to you now, but you'll be the interim coach. Will you know some discussion with Coach Kelly would be involved? You'll be as far as
Yeah, as of 5:36 today, I'm the interim head coach. Yes, sir. You got him. I am he. Yes, sir. Unless something happens, that I'm uncertain of. But yeah, going forward, I will be the interim head coach. Yes, sir.
Coach, Josh Dibble with Louisiana Gridiron Football. Speaking of Coach Kelly, will you utilize him for the bowl game as far as a mentor role or more as an analyst role?
Well, both. Both, obviously. I'd be foolish not to utilize his expertise. He's obviously coached in tons of big football games. And so, going forward, I want to be in compliance with what he wants in regards to the organization of it. These 15 practices are valuable. And so we don't want to waste one of them developing this team for 2022. Obviously, the bowl game is the matter at hand, but we definitely want to springboard into 2022. You know what I mean? So, as it gets closer to time for our preparation, getting through this next week and recruiting, I fully intend to spend time utilizing him, for both the analytical piece and his expertise. Yes, sir.
In your experience, what do these 15 practices do for a team? You talked about developing the young guys, but what is kind of really comes from being able to get to a bowl and have this extra time to prep?
Well, you look at the flip side of it. If you don't go to a bowl game, your season would have ended a week ago. Your kids, they kind of scatter. For the most part, right? Coaches are on the road recruiting. The organization of it, you'll have your kids come in and lift in those things, but for the most part, it's a little bit loose. And so this allows us to stay close-knit. It allows us to stay tight. It allows us to focus on the things that we need to enhance to improve our football team. I think, again, the January 4th bowl date will give us some time to get some guys healed up and healthy. But my initial plan going into attacking this thing is fundamentals. It's technique. It's LSU fixing LSU. That's been really the primary focus throughout the season, and we're going to continue that through the bowl game. We want to get better at what we do. It's been about 5.5 months. It hadn't been a year. Yeah, every day. It's an honor, it's a privilege. It's the little things as a coach that you take for granted. My wife, she's back there now. Every Father's Day, she would give me a case of boudin sent up to wherever we were living. You know what I mean? And now I drive down the street and I'm like, I don't want no boudin today. I had plenty of that. It's the little things. You know what I mean? I've enjoyed every day of it. I've had the opportunity to make my parents very proud of me, and that's something that any son would want to do. Obviously. The success that I have had as a coach, I get to share with people that care about me and that I love. And so it's been a privilege. This has been, as a child, a place that I've always wanted to be. All the elite players that have come from here, the big games, Death Valley in itself. It's something that I'll never trade this experience.
It's still new, but have you thought about next year and where you might be and what you want to do?
Yeah, I've thought about all those things, yes.
Hey, Coach, Ryan from LSU Tiger TV. You said that you're hoping to get some of the guys back that are injured throughout the season. Who are some of those guys that you're hoping?
I won't speak on the injuries until probably later, if that's okay. But we will have some guys returning, that have had, soft tissue injuries, bumps, bruises, things that are, pretty typical for this point in the season.
How stats and transition teams, there's a lot of uncertainty around this. How do you, as being a leader right now, kind of go about maintaining focus for guys? How do you manage that aspect?
Sure. Well, the main thing is winning. That's it. We want to compete, right? We got a locker room full of competitive guys, and if you focus on things outside of that, you'll go out and get embarrassed, and that's something we don't want to do. We've got great leadership in our locker room. We've got a group of kids that have come together and really united in the midst of a ton of adversity from the onset of the season, right? And so for me, as their leader in the bowl game, I've been through this experience as a player. I've been through it as a coach. Change is something that is inevitable in college football, right? It's the only thing that's constant in our lives, right? Is change. And so I plan on keeping the kids focused on what's important at hand, which is winning the bowl game. It's sending our seniors out the right way. It's competing one more time as a team.
I remember at one of your practices, we could hear you yelling pretty good, and you said,
No, I don't yell. It's encouraging.
better or you're going to get worse, but you're not going to stay the same.
That's right.
Just talk about that. How have you viewed your unit's progression, and what do you hope for them to finish off this year?
I tell you what, I'm proud of our group, the offensive line. I'm awfully proud of them. We got better every game. We did. I was talking to someone earlier about it today. We started 11 different lineups, due to injury or what have you, right? And yet the kids didn't blink. It was something for me that it wasn't an ideal time to arrive at LSU, meaning that I didn't get to go through spring ball with these guys. And so everything was accelerated in terms of building that trust, that rapport, that relationship. It started off rocky. It did. I was the new guy, just like having a substitute teacher. The kids want to know what they can get away with, right? And so I tried to remain consistent in my message, and I tried to show them how much I cared about them. And I think when the kids accepted that and saw that who I was genuine. They opened up, they bought in, and they worked their behinds off. I'm so proud of our seniors. Those guys played through injuries, things that never get talked about in the media. These guys went out and pushed themselves. They put their bodies on the line every day. I got a great group of men that I get to coach, and I'm honored to coach them.
I know you don't talk about awards a lot, but the more part you didn't get the Litnikoff award. You see him interact because you don't directly coach him, but what do you just think about his season and even though he didn't get it, how he's done?
He's best linebacker in college football, hands down. He is not only his production on the field, but for what he means to this team, his leadership. Him being just really a voice of calm and sustainability for our guys when things were going haywire. I tell you what, just the state of Louisiana owes that kid a huge gratitude. He's been fantastic. I'm honored to have been a part of his process. He gave me fits in practice, trying to block him, but he's going to go on and have a bright future in whatever he decides to do, whether it's returning to LSU or moving forward in his career. The kid's going to be a star.
As you said, you've only been here 5.5 months, but could you speak to what Tommy Moffitt's meant to the program and maybe even yourself in the short time you've seen?
3 national championships. He's had a proud career. I know that the days he was here, he invested a ton of time and effort and energy getting our team ready to play. Change is a part of it's part of the deal in college football. You know what I mean? And Coach Moffitt gets that as well. But he left it all here. He's got nothing to ever be ashamed of. He gave it all. He had a ton of success. He coached a lot of great players, and I tell you what, he's been phenomenal.
Coach has time for one more.
You talked about Coach Henry and some other guys that you're promoting up to bigger roles. Are you working under the expectation at least that you'll have all these other position coaches available for you through the bowl game?
We'll deal with that when we get to it. You know what I mean? Right now, the guys are here, so we're going to proceed. As the interim head coach, I will have a contingency plan for anything that comes up. We're going to coach this team. We're going to put a good product on the field. We're going to plan to win.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet. We're good? Thank you, guys. You bet.